turn our focus upward now, how COVID is causing turbulence in the airline industry. United Airlines is the first to require COVID vaccines for all its 67,000 U.S. employees. They remain the only major carrier to do so, but it does join a growing list of big businesses, Walmart, Google, Tyson Foods, that are requiring workers to get the shot. United CEO Scott Kirby met with President Biden yesterday to discuss the pandemic response, and Mr. Kirby joins me now. Very good to have you on the NewsHour. I wonder if you could just walk me through a little bit of in your thinking process, the pros and cons as you weighed them about this decision.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's great to be here. I'd start on the con side. It's the same thing that leaders across the country are still wrestling with. Worried about attrition, worried about a tight hiring market, worried about the public reaction, the employee reaction. All of those things are real and legitimate risks. But on the pro side, it's about safety and about saving lives. And the reality is, the fact is that you're about 300 times more likely to die if you're unvaccinated. And once you have that statistic in your mind, at least for me as a leader, that trumps everything else. It trumps all the cons, it trumps all the risks, and really leaves you with no choice but to require the vaccine.
I know that some employers and states and cities that have made this requirement offer an option. You can get the shot or you can submit to random regular testing. Are you doing that option?
We are not. And the reason we aren't, because at United Airlines, we always say safety is our number one core value. And we say it, we mean it. And that's much better than not requiring the vaccine, but it's still a compromise on safety. There's no question that people are safer if everyone is vaccinated. And we don't compromise on safety at United Airlines.
You mentioned that one of the cons might be possible blowback. Have you received any blowback? Like, what has the reaction been?
I've been pleasantly surprised at the reaction. There's certainly some people that have strongly held views and oppose the vaccine requirement. And I respect their views and respect that perspective. But there's a much larger group of the population that surprised me at how enthusiastically positive they are and appreciative that we were willing to take this step and make this decision for everyone. And so my email inbox, at least from employees, has run about 10 to 1 in favor. Now, again, lots of people that are really strongly opposed, and I accept that, but more people that support it than are opposed to it.
Does that surprise you? Because we have seen such hesitancy about mandates. As I mentioned, there are businesses that are doing this. There are states. But does that reaction surprise you?
It did. I mean, it pleasantly surprised me, but it surprised me because you hear about the vaccine hesitancy and you hear the people that are passionately opposed to requirement. What you don't hear from are all the people that are more of the silent majority, I think, who really think this is important. And what's been meaningful to me, and I've gotten a dozen of those letters that are very personal because they talk about losing a loved one. And so it means so much more to them because they've experienced that actual loss. And that's meant a lot to me to get those emails from employees.
Anyone that has been on an airline knows that there is no more crowded workspace than inside of an airplane these days. Do you wish that you could also get your passengers to follow a similar mandate? Would you encourage or promote that idea that in order to get on a plane, you have to prove a negative COVID test or prove you're vaccinated?
Well, first I'd say an airplane, amazingly enough, despite being crowded, is the safest place you can be and be around other people in an indoors environment. It's really because of the airflow on an airplane and the fact that it's refiltered through HEPA-grade filters 20 to 30 times an hour. And so it's literally the safest place you can be and be inside on other people. So while I feel good about the safety on the airplane, I think everyone in the country should get vaccinated. I think it's unlikely that here domestically there's going to be a vaccine requirement. I do think it would require government directives to make that happen. I think that will be common. It already is common internationally, but unlikely to happen here in the United States. But I think the right thing for all of us across society is for everyone to get vaccinated, put this in the rearview mirror, and get back to living normal lives.
Well, what about random tests? I know a friend just came back from Spain. He had to demonstrate that he had a negative test within 3 days before boarding a plane. Would you be in favor of something like that for all your passengers?
Yeah, again, I think it's unlikely that we would do something like that. And random tests in particular. Testing when you have this much of an outbreak in the country, is really an indicator of what's been happening in the past instead of something that's forward-looking. We have a solution to this crisis. We finally have, the silver bullet that worked. And the silver bullet is vaccines. And we should stop fiddling around the edges and we should just all get vaccinated and put this behind us.
I hear what you're saying, that you did this for a health and safety reason as the principal reason. But do you think that this gives you a competitive advantage? Meaning, are we going to see United ads or banners saying, I don't know, fly the vaccinated skies?
Absolutely, unequivocally not. I do not want this to be a competitive advantage. I hope every airline in the country winds up doing this. I think ultimately they will. We started thinking about it a little earlier. It's the right thing. It's not just about airlines. It's for all corporate America. I hope all leaders will do the same thing and follow this. This safety should never be a competitive issue. Safety should be figure out the best practice and then help everyone get to the same point.
I'd like to ask you about a slightly separate issue, which is we have all seen these examples of airport and airline staff being harassed and assaulted at times. From a management perspective, do you feel that you're doing enough to protect your people from this chaotic, dangerous behavior out there?
Well, I've seen a lot of the news reports, but I would say at United Airlines, our mask incidents are down 50% compared to the start of the year. Our in-flight incidents are lower than they were in the pre-COVID era, and that's because we've worked closely with our flight attendants. We have an amazing group. The union has been supportive. Really worked on the training and given them the tools and the standard operating procedures to help de-escalate situations and avoid having things escalate. So at United Airlines, like we don't have zero issues, but we don't have anything unusual happening at United. It's really a testament to the professionalism of our flight attendants that we're in a different situation, I think, than what you see a lot of the reporting at some other airlines.
All right, Scott Kirby, CEO of United Airlines, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.